Um, I'll ask something about recruitment. You mentioned 1,000 sign-ups and then 100 new and active members.
Yeah.
But just to clarify, those 100 new members, are they, is that the only, is that the only set amount you'll get? 100 lang?
No. As much as possible, 100, at least 100 new active members.
Okay.
I have a question related to that.
Okay.
You said you wanted a more successful recruitment cycle, right? So then you gave us numbers which are 1,000 sign-ups and 100 numbers. That's only 10% retention rate. How can you say that's successful?
Okay. Those numbers are mainly what I at least want to be able to achieve. It doesn't really have to be limited to that. Hopefully, that we are able to retain the members that would actually be willing and would actually work with ISEC. Given that our experience this year was that we have a lot of recruits, but not all of them came through. From a lot of signups, it got trimmed further and further as the requirements are given. And from the attendance at ACAMP, there are nearly about 180 plus attendees, but not all of them are active now. ISEC membership, ISEC USC membership is dwindling as the year goes by. So as much as possible, I'd like to meet at least that given throughout the year. Maintain that 100 active members throughout the year.
Any more questions?
Hi Stephen, congratulations to the performance.
Thank you.
I actually like your plans. You have a lot of ideas. The question mostly lies on how you'll get to those, how do you make those ideas into realities. Like I'll say some, and please explain to us how you plan to achieve them.
Okay.
It says here number 3, an active ICQC community, 100% working and active. Right, that's one of your biggest problems. Out of like how many members you have? 200? Dapat kayo. We have 20 people here. We have 30 people in conferences at most. And I don't know how many more people attend GAs or even perform. So how do you get from 20 out of 200 people to 100%?
Thank you for that question.
Sorry, then you have time to think. You can think.
So going back to your question. For us to be able to do that, I aim that, as I said earlier, streamlined job descriptions. The LCVPs have the freedom to be able to make their own TLs that are specifically meant to do a certain job that is required of the department. For example, in Com, I'm the brand manager, and I find it really difficult to be able to look into all the different departments, the formats they make for ICX, for OGX, for TM, and it's really, really hard to maintain that, given that I have quite a lot of other academic requirements to meet, and I also have other obligations to meet my other organizations before. So a streamlined job description would be kind of like a concentrated task. So if I, for example, am for brand management, I would be given a brand management for ICX. So I'll be focusing more on ICX, given that so that I'll have a balanced time for both academics and ISEC, and then hopefully that there will be a stronger bond between TLs and the TMs. Because today, for ISEC Wednesday is meant to be that. Given that we don't have a tambayan, an org room, not many of our members know who to look for, who to meet, who to talk to when they have questions about the org. So hopefully, when OSA gives us an organization room and the student center, we'd be able to have a stronger bond with the members, and that the members would know more, and it's easier for them to do their jobs. If, for example, a nursing student who has a lot of books, and then she would need to match someone, they would match form or raise a form. Sorry, they have a room. Okay, sorry. There's more.
I'd like to know what's your stand with situation A, actually actively terminating ISECers because maybe they don't perform or they haven't been active for a long time, versus trying to keep reaching out to them and trying to get them more involved in the organization.
terminating active.
And like terminating or like removing from the organization, dismissing ISICers right now, current ISICers, or part of the database pa rin. Maybe because they haven't been performing, maybe they haven't been active, versus reaching out to these people pa and trying to make them active. Assuming that this activity will be done in your first semester, kasi diba that's when the talent planning happens. And application.
First of all, we as a requirement by the Office of Student Affairs, we're required to meet at least 200 members to be recognized. So if, for example, our total member population is 200 flat, then I would go for situation B, just so that we can maintain ISAC. And really, there's always a potential in every person, and I don't want to see that wasted. I mean, that's
Okay.
what ISAC is.
But then how will you do them?
Sorry?
How will you get them active again? You said streamline JDs?
Yeah.
Is that, you think that's the biggest problem, why there are only a handful of ISICers here?
Not just that. USC students are heavily relationship based. In my experience being a part of another organization here, I've been part of an apprenticeship program, and then there were a lot of us. And I was, in our group, I was the only one who got close to the leaders. And then the next year, I was the only one who stayed. The rest of them were gone. I don't know where. Some of them might have transferred, but I don't know. So, given that, the LC needs to adapt to the Thamashan culture first, so that we would be able to sustain ourselves here.
Neo.
Okay, according to your inside report like earlier,
Sorry.
You're anticipating only 20% of your current members to stay next semester.
Yes.
That's really low. So, as hopefully the next LCP of ISAC for USC,
Yes.
what can you propose the incumbent need to do in order to maximize that 20% for me and others? Give complete answers.
Sorry to clarify. Once I'm LCP, like,
Yeah, assuming you're LCP,
uh,
what action steps can you give to the executive board now in order to make sure that you get more than 20%?
similar to my plan, there would be a general assembly to call all the members and to make sure that they to find out what they were doing, to find out what they have experienced. Given that there is a TM department, however, as of now, we aren't tracking their experience. I would like to from my term on. That's one of the things that we will be doing, so that we would maintain. We will be tracking their development from upon the moment they're members, and then for the EB also, being that they're going to be, most of them are going to be alumni after. I plan that they would be talking to them, even though they're a lot. I know 200 people are a lot. They need to, because as I've said earlier, USC students are relationship based. And if the leader talks to them personally, it's going to be heartwarming. It's kind of a fluffy feeling. And it might make an impact. If they really say no, then we can't do anything about it anymore. But hopefully, they will be able to see ISAC in a new light the next year. Thank you.
Gino and
Right. You said that ISAC USSD is required to maintain 200 members, and assuming that you might be a full member LC next year, how much is that LCP size? 200 members.
I think it's only 100 members for OSA.
So it's not 200 members, it's 100 members. So 100 members, how much is that?
Estimated like 60K.
60,000? How much do you have right now?
Minus payables and added receivables around 25.
You have 25. Based on your plans, I didn't see very strong operations. Like for example, your OGX goals, it's only 20, whereas right now you're already performing at the near that number, I guess, or nearing that number. So in terms of operations, you're not pushing for growth, as far as I can see, and only 10 ICX. participants?
As I said, I'd like to refine operation. Um, okay, growth is not extremely removed from the idea. But as much as possible, I want to be able to operate and at the same time do it properly.
So where are you going to get your money to sustain LC?
I'm first. I'm open to the plans of the LCVP FLA elect, and as well as that of ER. Given that they have the chances of being able to generate as well, help generate money. We're also going to have to push with OGX. We have to do a strong campaign for outgoing programs so that it would help us earn more.
Or is that like
That's just
temporary?
That's like the
Minimum?
minimum. Sorry.
Could you enumerate you mentioned a new department called internal affairs. Could you enumerate the responsibilities?
Okay. As of now, as I said earlier, the internal affairs department is still. I'm still asking myself as well if it's going to be a department or it's going to be part of another department. Which, as I've consulted with the EB, they said that they'd rather see under finance and legal administration. The internal affairs division / department would be handling more of the OSA affairs. It would be handling, for example, ISAC was asked to do the Tamashan Leaders Congress this April to help them organize it. And then it's not exactly part of the LC's plans. And it might actually affect our financial stability, given that we're going to be working for it. And then it's going to also affect our workforce, talents. And given that, the internal affairs would be solely focused more on how to be able to negotiate with OSA and to be able to to continue the harmonious relationship that we have with it. Currently, I'm inclined more to having it absorbed into FLA, given that there's really not much experience through it, since it's more of negotiations only, and it's like not.
Okay, so
Any more?
A purpose question. Could you, at least from your perspective, what is the job description? What is the job description for an LCP?
Job description for an LCP.
Yeah.
I'll take the time.
You don't have to like make the entire job description. Tell us what you think the responsibilities are, the deliverables. Like, how do you measure if you're a successful LCP? Stuff like that. One.
Deliverables, sorry? No, I have that. But I have an idea. I just need to concretize them. Sorry.